Welcome back to Half Court. We're talking Battle for Los Angeles here. Los Angeles Clippers or Los Angeles Lakers, both making big, splashy moves in the offseason. One team was the 8th seed last year, and one team didn't even make the playoffs. So LeBron James, completely healthy. He's fueled up. He's ready to come back. He's putting the crown on.
He will.
Yeah, and the Lakers are really ready to
take a step.
They have to, because they've been kind of garbage the last few years, not making the playoffs. Really been disappointing, especially for that Lakers franchise. They have to do something, or else you just not representing the purple and gold the way that it needs to be represented in this league. These guys were always in title contention with Shaq and Kobe, with Kareem, with Magic. These guys now, they ship off a lot of young pieces. They bring in one of the best players in the league with Anthony Davis. So
that combination is going to be lethal. I mean, Anthony Davis is a 28-12 guy in his sleep. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And him and LeBron are going to work great together. That's going to be, if not, I mean, you think it's going to be the best duo in the NBA? I mean, I think it is. But the thing and the question I have with the Los Angeles Lakers is the depth of this team. You got those two guys. You bring back Kuzma. You got Danny Green, who I like. There's DeMarcus Cousins, but he's going to be out indefinitely, so you don't even know when he's coming back. Kadavius Caldwell-Pope, we get another year of that, really. JaVale McGee, Quinn Cook, Jared Dudley. This team, man, you got the big two, but other than these guys, other than those two guys, you're rolling out some scrubs. There's just no other way to put it. Quinn Cook, McGee, Caldwell-Pope, Jared Dudley, really? This is a brand new team of last year, and I understand they moved a lot of guys to the New Orleans Pelicans, and I think that was smart, Lonzo Ball and Ingram, because those guys they just didn't fit in well with the Los Angeles Lakers. They didn't fit in with the spotlight. They got an opportunity elsewhere. You're bringing some guys on one-year deals. I do like the Danny Green signing, but I think the biggest question mark, Dolby, is going to be this depth and this second unit. Because if LeBron gets hurt like he did last year, and I'm not saying LeBron's going to get hurt, I think he's going to win the MVP next year. So, hey, I mean, this is going to be a great team, and you're going to be led by two of the top 5 players in the NBA, but you're going to need some other guys to produce, and we'll have to see if that happens.
All right, so between the two Los Angeles teams, between the Clippers and the Lakers, who do you have as a better team? Who do you think is going to go farther in the playoffs? Who do you have?
I'll go Clippers on that.
Why?
Because you got Kawhi, and you saw what he did in Toronto, and what he did. He led that team in Toronto, and I understand the competition's a little bit better, and I know LeBron is one of the best playoff performers ever. I mean, anywhere he goes, they're going to make a push in the playoffs. But this team, and you see with the Clippers, they were an 8 seed last year without these guys in a loaded Western Conference. I mean, you got Lou Williams on this team now still. I mean, Mo Harkless, who made some good pieces or made some big plays off the bench. Landry Shamet, who came from Philly, he can hit a few threes. Paul George, who's going to be out, I think, till November, but hopefully he's healthy. And the question with him is his playoff. He stinks in the playoffs, or he has stunk in the playoffs the last few years. So I just like this. I like this Clippers team a little bit better. I'm a fan of Doc Rivers. Kawhi's there, and he knows how to lead by example, and it might not be vocally, but by his play. That's why I'm taking the Clippers over the Lakers thus far.
No way. I got the Los Angeles Lakers for sure. They're the best team in LA. They have the king. The king is going to be completely healthy. He's going to be completely fueled, and he's got better players around him. He's got Anthony Davis, the best center in the league / power forward. He likes to play the 4 more than he likes to play the 5, and I don't blame him because that's more of a fluid position. He can play from beyond the arc. He can play in the post. He's going to beat you up wherever he is. He can guard any player down low. He's great on the defensive end. LeBron James can be great on the defensive end if he wants to. I know he takes plays off at times or even games off at times, but it doesn't matter when you're the best player in the league. All this Kawhi Leonard hype, yeah, he just won finals MVP. Yeah, he just took Toronto to the finals. They beat a Warriors team that was beat up, completely beat up.
They got past the 76ers, who's a pretty good team, and the Bucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, so what about the 76ers? Joel Embiid played terribly. If Joel Embiid played to his potential, 76ers would have won that game in 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Would have won that
I
season
agree,
in
but
6.
that didn't happen. I agree. I totally agree. If Embiid played like we knew how he'd play, they would have won that series in 6 games, but he didn't. And in game, I think it was 4, Kawhi, when the Sixers had an opportunity to put the series away, they didn't. And Kawhi Leonard went off and took that series by control by himself. And that's why they went on to win the NBA title. If they would have lost that game 4, I think they would have been knocked out of the playoffs, and I wouldn't be sitting here saying the Clippers are the better team in LA, but it didn't happen. And look, and that's why I think the Clippers are the best team.
And that's what I'm saying is that, like, this Clippers team is so hyped, and I understand they gave Golden State a really good show whenever Golden State was completely healthy. But I'm not really a big fan of what they got going down low. Vika Zubac and Montrezl Harrell, JaMychal Green, who's expanded his game a little bit. But, I mean, are these dudes the guys that you want going up against Anthony Davis or even a Dwight Howard, who I think his second stint in LA is going to go over pretty well? It's not the same team.
I don't think so.
Instead of Kobe, who loves to hog the ball, you have LeBron, who's going to feed all of his teammates. LeBron's playing the point guard this year. So whenever you look at this lineup, you got Rajon Rondo coming off the bench. You got Danny Green at starting shooting guard. Then you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Kyle Kuzma, which both those dudes can ball. Kyle Kuzma just signed that fat contract with Puma to become the face of the company, which great move by them because I think he's about to absolutely blow up this year with another year of experience. And then you got Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee. That is a great starting 5, especially against the Clippers, who I think are going to get eaten alive down low with that McGee-Davis combo and then bringing in a fresh Dwight Howard. He's going to be blocked. You have 2 premier shot blockers and 2 premier defensive players down low.
That's a good point.
Now they're not guards, so they're not going to have to switch a lot. They're not going to have to come out of the paint a lot. But if you can get those guys in the paint and really play good, solid defense, Danny Green is a good defender. James is a good defender. Rondo can be pesky. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, we know what he can do. And not even talking about Avery Bradley, which is he coming off into the second unit?
I think he should.
Is he going to start some games? It'll all depend on the lineup. You have so many good matchups. Jared Dudley's been there, done that. He can shoot.
Jared Dudley stinks.
Oh, come on. He's been there and done that. He's not going to get that many minutes, but he knows what he's doing. Whenever it comes to crunch time, I don't think he's going to hurt this team. And Troy Daniels, who's an absolute sniper that they signed this offseason. I love this Lakers team. They are so talented.
I mean, I think they're going to be good, and I like that point there. On the front court with the big guys. I think that's going to be a big key if they would play each other. And Dolby, we got a question here. Do you think if the Clippers and the Lakers would face each other in the Western Conference, what do you think would happen there?
Well, I think. Well, first of all, the ESPN would go nuts. I think you would get a lot of really good segments from like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman.
Oh yeah.
Or
it would be crazy,
dude. It would be crazy. That's just the first take. From the second take, I mean, these are 2 LA teams that have kind of been in the dumpster a little bit. The Clippers had really bad, early 2000s until they got Blake Griffin, and the Lakers as of late have not been great. This would be fantastic for basketball. I think anybody but the Golden State Warriors in the finals would be awesome. I would love to see either of these teams move on to the finals. They are my 2 favorite picks to go on from the West.
Should be.
I think this series would be fantastic.
7?
I mean
6.
I think it. I think 7. I'm thinking 7
Here's
for
the
sure.
thing too. I mean, they're going to be playing both at the Staples Center. So
yeah, no home court
advantage. And I feel like a lot of Lakers fans would show out to that series if they would play. So I think the Lakers would get a pretty good home court advantage in that series.
The whole series.
Yeah, pretty much the whole series because they wouldn't be moving anywhere. And they would want to show Clippers fans like LA's the team around here. It's going to be, if that happens, man, and it's the Western Conference Finals, that'll be awesome.
And then we see who the best player in the league is. That series would decide who is the best player in this league.
I agree.
Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James.
Yep.
And I think LeBron James has at least one more year left in him where he can absolutely dominate any kind of series. And I think this is something that he really gets psyched for. This would be an incredible series.
Man.
I'm really
I
hoping
got
this happens.
already like thinking about.
Great question by your dad there. Me too, really. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. That would be incredible. I think Paul George would kind of fall off the face of the map. I think that would be too big of a moment.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
And also that series would cement Anthony Davis's career in the Lakers because he would become a Laker for life.
Yeah,
he would absolutely
win that series, or just like in general in that series.
I think if they make it that far and they have a really good showing in that series, I think he signs a long-term contract, or whatever the max deal.
The super max with the Lakers.
Yeah, I think like
he needs that like kind of like big playoff push.
Yeah, because he's never has one. He's never had one in his career. Once he gets that taste, that sweet taste of postseason success, I think he's really going to be down with how the Lakers are being run, especially playing with King James. There's no better teammate. There's no better teammate in the world than LeBron James to elevate everybody around him. Lou Williams, he probably plays his heart out. He's probably gonna have 2 or 3 games where he has over 30 points. Kawhi Leonard is gonna do his things, but
how about Pat Beverly? We haven't even mentioned him.
Pat Beverly is pesky defender. I think him and Rajon Rondo might get in a fist fight. They could get in a fist fight.
You got like so many good matchups in the if they would meet in the series in the playoffs. You got these matchups, man. You got some good matchups like the Rondo Beverly, the LeBron Kawhi. Oh. Now I do agree with you. I think the Clippers will have trouble with Anthony Davis, who's guarding him. Zubac isn't. But what you're going to have to do if you're the Clippers, you're going to have to get out and run, and you're going to have to play the transition game with some of your smaller players like Lou Will, Kawhi, Paul George, and you're going to have to hit some big threes.
Thing is, though, like JaVale McGee, he can run the court just about as big or just about as good as any big man. I think he could be really big in that series, especially going up against a Harrell or Zubac. And I mean,
is Dwight Howard your comeback player of the year?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Think so?
Without a doubt, dude.
Comeback player of the year.
He's gonna carve out a big role in this team. He's 32 years old, but just like looking at everything that he's done, he was a 3-time defensive player of the year. It's been a while. Don't get me wrong, but he's been on a lot of bad teams and he's been misused.
Took that Magic team to the finals by himself.
I think Frank Vogel he'll know how to use him. I think Frank Vogel is a very underrated head coach.
I think so too.
He did a very good job in Indiana whenever he was coaching the Pacers up a few years ago. And since then, I was very, very impressed with how he coaches his basketball team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that's another question. We're going to learn how good of a coach, Frank Vogel is in a big-time situation. I agree. Had some great years in Indiana, but you got the King now. You got Anthony Davis now. You got to prove that you can get the job done in a big market like the Los Angeles Lakers. It's going to be awesome.
The thing is, like, LeBron, you kind of get the sense that he is a little bit scared of Kawhi in some senses. You go back and you look at like that Heat versus Spurs final. Every time that Kawhi takes the court, LeBron is deflated, and that's back in like LeBron's prime. Now he has all the fear in the world. I would hope, because you can't come in and underestimate that guy's game. You have to really bring 150% or whatever you want to say, 10 million%. It's all got to be left out on the court. There's got to be a lot of sweat, blood, and tears if that matchup happens.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And the thing you got to look at too is if you're the Clippers, man, you're going to have to put bodies on Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, because you're going to have to be physical with them. You're going to have to get them to play physical with you. You can't be timid, because if you do, you're going to get absolutely dominated, which you mentioned, Dolby. But this series, if it happens, and we'll get when the season goes along and we get to the playoffs, if this series happens, man, I'm telling you,
good.
Woo! I'm pumped up right now after that. After just talking about that, man. Holy.
Who wins though? Who wins the series, McClure? Who wins?
I'll
Come
go
on.
Clippers. I'll go
Yeah,
Clippers.
you were on the Clippers.
I'm going Clippers. But I think Doc Rivers is better than Frank Vogel as a coach, and he's shown that with the Celtics teams. And now he's got a legitimate team. You got to think about that now. He's got a legitimate team now in the LA Clippers, and they won 48 games without these guys, as I mentioned earlier, and he did a pretty good job in Boston. He would probably tell you that they should have won more titles with the Celtics, and they didn't because they couldn't get past LeBron. And let's see if he can get past LeBron here in LA.
He should at least have one title with the Clippers, and that's why I'm thinking that maybe Doc isn't the best coach for this. Because
You mean the Celtics?
No, with the Clippers. He should have won a title with the Clippers.
Right now?
Now? Yeah, by now. Back in those years, between whenever the Spurs were coming to the end of their run and Golden State was just starting up, the Clippers had postseason flop after postseason flop, and part of that is on CP3.
Yep.
And another part of it is Doc Rivers.
Yeah. No,
Doc Rivers. I do
that.
not believe in Doc Rivers in LA, and I really think he's going to come up short yet again.
Yeah, you're right.
He's going to have a great team. I don't think it's this year for them. I think it's the Lakers. It's got to be the Lakers.
If it isn't the Lakers, you're going to have some serious issues here. If you're the Lakers front office, I mean, you got a team that should be in the NBA Finals, this year, and if you can't do it, you're going to have some major problems and a lot of question marks if you can't get past Kawhi and the Clippers, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, man. And you're right on your point with Doc Rivers in the earlier years when he was with the Clippers, and it just kind of flew past my mind
because they're not memorable. Yeah, they had too many flops.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they just couldn't get the job done at all. The DeAndre Jordan, the Chris Paul, and Blake Griffin, and JJ Redick said something funny last week. He was like, I can't believe that those Lob City Lakers teams couldn't win a title.
That's what I'm saying, man. They couldn't do it.
I'm saying he does it this year. Get the monkey off his back this year. The Clippers going to the finals in the West.
All right, you heard it here. I got Lakers, and McClure here is on the Clippers. We will see at the end. end of the year,